And the latest from Italy on the Manu Kone situation is that there is a bid expected, there is movement expected. As we've said and as we've been reporting, looking into all of the stories recently around Kone, Manchester United ready to go, a few other teams interested as well. One way or another, we're going to find out about Kone very soon, it would seem, because the stories from Italy on this are that Roma are expecting movement on this transfer now going into next week. And of course, that's simply because France head home probably tonight, our time, or maybe tomorrow. They'll be back in France again, obviously by Monday. And then all of the transfer talk just goes into overdrive, as it always does after a big major tournament. Have you seen pre-season is actually going on now as well? So, yeah, on the Kone side of things, again, and with these reports coming in, I think it's just making it clearer and clearer now. And there has been a bit of a break in the transfer window. It has seemed over this last week. Well, the latter stages of the World Cup have actually finished, and obviously we've gotten the tournament over the line. I think there's been like somewhat of a holding of the breath when it comes to what's actually happening now and what goes on now from this point. And I think it is the next stage. It is the next part of this transfer window. And Manchester United, obviously waiting for that moment as we did with Tielemans, now going in for Kone. I think this, again, now looks key. As we reported the last 2 days on this situation, it is that Manchester United see him as the ideal target. It's the only one we know about, and that's saying something as well, don't forget, because obviously the surprise transfers that have come through from Tielemans and Santos out of nowhere, you can't ignore that. But the one that we do know about more than any is Kone. And look, if it's not Kone, who is it? There are stories coming out today as well from journalists here in England saying that Manchester United are not worried about signing a big name player. They're not worried about making a blockbuster signing. It is all coming down to what they think fits their midfield, what fits their system, what they want to do, and that's it. They're not going to be pressured into making a massive signing. They're not bothered about outside noise. We've said this a few times now. We've said it's on different shows about United's stance on this. I think Kone just slots right in there. I think he just fits in exactly where Manchester United need him to be. Right age player, enough experience in Europe. We've got enough covering him in terms of experience from the Premier League already in the squad. And realistically, the price isn't that bad. 50 million, probably 50 to 55 million, I'm guessing. Fits right within budget for Manchester United. In fact, it comes under budget when you look at the 150 million. And this, look, the transfer window has changed constantly since it started. And it's been different story after different story, then surprise package after another. And obviously now we've got two midfielders already in. One who we have just seen get 45 minutes in the friendly against Wrexham. Vinny Jr, he's like a pipe dream. It's like basically looking at something that I feel isn't realistic. And the reason we're doing this show this morning, or starting with this story, is because Man United are going to be used, and we're still being used now, for players getting better contracts. This, I think, is going to be a trend, and it's going to carry on being a trend. And until we actually go year after year after year of bringing in players that are on a reasonable contract, that have been bought for the right transfer fee, I think that this is going to take time. But until we have years of that, we're not going to be out of the news with stories like this. And look, it's the way that the story has been put down. It's the way that the story has even been reported. United are the only club that could afford, or the only place that Vinicius Jr can go if he leaves Real Madrid. I mean, the headline itself is a load of garbage, isn't it? Let's be honest. And Man United have got bigger things to worry about than going in and trying to negotiate a contract or even a deal with Real Madrid for Vinicius Jr. There's a lot more work that needs to be done at this football club than going in and buying Galacticos again. And that is the way that we've been doing business. Do you think United all of a sudden, just because Vinicius Jr is available and Real Madrid are letting him go, if he doesn't sign this new contract, they're going to go and take him? It's not going to happen. I don't think it's a story at all. I would like to find out where everybody's at with this. And it's a very close poll. I didn't expect it to be. Like, I understand you go for the best players on the planet, but there's like 47% of you right now in the poll this morning would take Vinicius Jr. It's almost a 50-50 split on that. And that's over 500 votes now in the first 7 minutes of this show. It's crazy. I didn't see that, actually. And look, people will always look at, let's just say, the influence of Lionel Messi, the influence of these big players. And at 26, he's still young. He's still in his prime. I get it. But I just feel like with him, and you know what? Like, we have got the Brazilian and the South American connection there at Manchester United right now. Plenty of players on the same sort of wavelength and language. And it does feel good at United with the players that we've got. The likes of Kun, you know, you're bringing in Santos as well. And obviously, you've got enough there with the Portuguese contingents as well. Leech off. This is a good half of our team that are that obviously South American speaking, that Portuguese speaking player. And to add another one in, like, I get it, like, would make it easy to integrate. And it just never seemed like a deal that Man United would do for me. And I just don't think that it is a realistic transfer for this club. I don't think that Ineos would go for it. Look, anybody looking at this and thinking that this is just one of them far out made up stories, I do think that it is. It is. And the more realistic story, even though this is a bit of a crazy one as well, is Adam Wharton. And I am going to get into that story as well. First of all, though, now we have got the streams up and running again, which is great. I do want to get your opinions on this Vinicius Jr. one. I'll give you your chance to have your say. Whether you like it or not, please just get in the comments. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes going through the comments just to gauge the actual chat and see where everyone is at.